Hey guys, it's EDDBUD here. I'm back with another shoe video for you. So with the very exciting news coming about the Nike Vaporfly Next percent, it got me thinking about which of the current high-performance Nike shoes might receive a price drop in the near future. Obviously not everyone can justify the price of the Vaporfly Next percent, so it got me thinking about the Pegasus Turbo and the Vaporfly. Which of those presents the best value for the average runner? Obviously these are both high performance shoes, guys, at a high price. The typical price for the Nike Pegasus Turbo is around about £160, and the Vaporfly 4% comes in at over £200. It makes sense that both of these shoes will probably receive price drops in the very near future. So I'm going to review these two shoes in a slightly different way for you people. I've got 4 slightly different ways to look at these shoes. I'm going to look at potential use, I'm going to look at durability, fit, and overall value. So starting off with the Vaporfly 4%, well, this is very much a racing shoe, guys. It's not the type of shoe that you can use for everyday training. At very slow paces, this shoe really isn't going to work too well for you. At faster paces, it really does make you fly. It's a great racing shoe. Anybody that's got this shoe and has worn it at all will note that the midsole does start to crease up really quickly. You do get some wear on the outsole. It's going to happen, guys. It is a very, very soft foam, the Zoom X stuff that they use within the midsole of the Vaporfly 4%. I really believe that this shoe is probably good up to about 200 miles. I know that people have got even more than that out of them. I do try to look after this shoe since I got it in December, so what that's meant is really trying to get rid of any stones or sharp debris that might have got lodged into the Zoom X outsole. I've also been careful to try to pack the shoe to make sure that that Flyknit upper maintains its shape. The Vaporfly 4% really isn't your easy day trainer. So this shoe could work really well for you for racing and for fast tempo runs, but it's not going to fare as well for fartlek or any type of interval training. Obviously with interval training, you're going to be going very fast for a short period of time and then a much slower rest period. This shoe does not like going slow. It really does resist against you. It kind of makes you go fast. It increases that cadence. So it's not going to work too well as a recovery shoe. Moving on to the Pegasus Turbo, in my opinion, this is a much more versatile shoe. I've used this shoe successfully on all different types of terrain. I've used this shoe on roads, pavements, grass and woodland trails. I've even managed to use it on some hill sessions with my good buddy Nathan Gardner. It worked really well on the hills, in fact. So you could use this shoe for racing if you wanted to, but I would note that the upper is much more substantial than the Vaporfly 4%. So with the upper being more substantial, it could lead to some heat issues and also some ventilation issues. It's going to affect breathability. It's a much, much thicker upper and less breathable. So moving on to durability now, guys. The Pegasus Turbo is definitely the most durable of the two shoes. The mixture of the midsole materials of React and Zoom X and the additional outsole coverage certainly make this the more robust of the two shoes. So the Zoom X material in the midsole of the Vaporfly 4% will break down quicker, but I would suggest that it can be sustained with a little bit of care and attention, making sure you clean the shoe and removing any pieces of debris, stones and so forth from the bottom of the shoe. If you're going to utilize this shoe on less demanding surfaces, then you're certainly going to get more miles out of it. So shout out to Kev Burton. I know that he's put particularly large numbers of miles into one of the pairs of his Pegasus Turbos, around about 500 miles I believe, guys. So please don't listen to the naysayers. This shoe can do incredible numbers of miles. Mine are currently on 150. I've run across mud fields, I've gone on trails with it, I've gone on hills, elevation, woodlands, everything, and it stood up. So I believe this to be a really durable shoe and you'll get lots of miles out of it. So moving on to fit now, guys. The fit of the Pegasus Turbo for me is nice and roomy in the toe box. I found it to be a really great fit straight out of the box. I haven't really felt much change in the fit of the shoe even after 150 miles. It still feels pretty consistent to me. No real change in the sizing or the comfort of the shoe. It's remained nice and consistent and sustained. I've had no blistering, no soreness, nothing with the shoe. It's been great straight out the box. So certainly fit. I find this to be an easy shoe to get a good lock in. So the Vaporfly 4% Flyknit, certainly a more snug fitting shoe. I think you'll find this to be less supportive though. Certainly the Vaporfly Next percent reports and reviews that are coming in suggest that's a much more supportive shoe with a much better lockdown over the forefoot. Some care must be taken when lacing the Vaporfly 4%. If you take a little bit of time when lacing the 4%, you can get an appropriate lockdown. But if you try to rush it, you're likely to get a very unsupported, unlocked fit. I don't find that to be as much of an issue with the Pegasus Turbos. I found that it's easy to achieve the lockdown fit. Straight out the box, you can throw these guys on, lace them up, and you're pretty much there. You can get out there, start running. I think the fly wires help here, and the more conventional lacing and eyelet system. So moving on to value, guys, I think the Pegasus Turbo is a better value shoe because it's the more versatile of the two shoes. I think when you take into account the durability of the shoe, the different uses that the shoe can perform for you, and also the cost, I think this is probably the better of the two shoes in terms of value. I find that the mixture of the React and Zoom X foam kind of gives a best of both worlds feeling in terms of cushion and durability. That aside though, if the Vaporfly 4% does start to come down in price, which I have a feeling it may well do with the imminent release of the Vaporfly Next percent, then this could start to become a slightly better value shoe. Yes, that midsole and outsole combination is going to start to deteriorate after a few miles. But I find at high pace, it's very hard to beat the Vaporfly 4%. So all in all, guys, buying running shoes, yeah, it's easy to shell out lots of money, but are you going to get that value from the shoe? I certainly feel that the Pegasus Turbo is probably the better value shoe of the two. If that Vaporfly 4% starts to come down in price a little bit, I know some people have managed to pick them up for around about 190. Perhaps if it moves down to 160, 150 even, then I feel that that's probably the better bet. I hope this has been useful to you if you're considering buying one of those two shoes. Okay guys, that's all I've got for you today. Please remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, thumbs up, like any of the videos you've particularly enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you.